The Chevrolet Camaro Z28 had strong sales during the end of the second generation Camaro's long 12 model year production run. Truth be known, Chevrolet could have continued to produce the second generation Camaro Z28 for the rest of the 1980s decade. Its styling and other attributes were that popular with Z28 buyers. During the 1981 model year, fuel prices were high and there was a bad U.S. economic recession, accompanied by inflation, yet all 43,272 1981 Camaro Z28s produced had no problems finding buyers, making the 1981 Camaro Z28 a profitable car for Chevrolet. This is why it was so important that Chevrolet got the all-new downsized third-generation 1982 Camaro Z28 right. The 1982 Camaro was Chevrolet's answer for the changing times. Its entire exterior dimensions had been downsized, and it had gone on a serious diet, losing several hundred pounds. The 1982 Z28 had a curb weight of just 3,169 pounds, versus the much heavier 1981 Z28's curb weight of 3,600 pounds. This allowed the 1982 Z28 to have a handling and braking advantage and feel much more nimble than the 1981 Z28. Not to mention the weight loss made the 1982 Z28's horsepower, which was down slightly when compared to 1981, go a lot further. Not to mention the 1982 to 1984 Camaro Z28's aerodynamic advantage over its predecessor due to its smooth body panel styling that gave it a very low for its day drag coefficient of 0.37, further enhanced the Z28's acceleration performance. By 1982, the increasing more stringent corporate average fuel economy standards and stricter emissions standards had Chevrolet scrambling to meet these standards, while also trying to keep the 1982 Z28 true to its performance heritage. It was no small feat, but Chevrolet managed to not only meet the standards, but to make a legendary performance car that took Camaro performance to the next level. For 1982, the Z28 was one of the fastest new American performance cars available. The Z28 was rear-wheel drive with a solid rear axle and had standard V8 power just like previous Z28s. The dual muffler exhaust system, with its deep resonance exhaust sound, was reminiscent of the beautiful exhaust sounds of the best golden era muscle cars. The standard motor was the LG4 5.0-liter 305 cubic inch V8, which had also been the standard engine in the late second-generation Camaro Z28. It had a 4-barrel carburetor and was rated at 145 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque for 1982, and 150 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque for 1983 to 1984. For 1982, this engine was standard with a 4-speed manual transmission and optional with a 3-speed automatic transmission. For 1983 and 1984, a 5-speed manual transmission was standard, with a 4-speed automatic transmission with overdrive being optional. The LG4 equipped Z28 with one of these manual transmissions went 0 to 60 miles per hour in the low to mid 9-second range, which was fast for this era. The performance engine option for 1982 and 1983 was the 5.0-liter 305 cubic inch Crossfire fuel injection V8, which produced 165 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque for 1982, and 175 horsepower and 250 pound-feet of torque for 1983. This engine had a computer-controlled fuel injection system that utilized dual throttle body fuel injectors on top of a cross-flow intake manifold. The Crossfire V8 for 1982 could only be equipped with a 3-speed automatic transmission and a 4-speed automatic transmission for 1983. Performance by early 1980s standards was excellent, with the Crossfire-equipped Z28s with the optional 3-2-3 rear axle ratio went 0 to 60 miles per hour in the mid 8-second range. This was on par with the 1980 Camaro Z28 with the optional performance engine, the 190 horsepower 5.7-liter 350 cubic inch V8, which went 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8.5 seconds, as tested by Car and Driver magazine in its April 1980 issue. Genuine muscle car era performance returned to the Z28 with the introduction of a new performance engine option, the L69 5.0-liter high-output V8, in June 1983 as a late 1983 model year optional engine. It produced 190 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque. It had a performance-tuned 4-barrel carburetor, a very performance-oriented 373 rear axle ratio, and a mandatory 5-speed manual transmission. For 1984, this engine could also be equipped with a 4-speed automatic transmission. Car and Driver magazine in its June 1983 issue tested an L69 5.0-liter high-output V8 equipped Camaro Z28 and obtained 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.7 seconds, and the quarter mile in 15.0 seconds at 93 miles per hour. This was slightly faster than the legendary 1969 Camaro Z28, which went 0 to 60 miles per hour in 7.4 seconds, and the quarter mile in 15.12 seconds at 94.8 miles per hour, as tested by Car Life magazine in its August 1969 issue. Due to its massive weight loss and vastly improved suspension architecture, the 1982 to 1984 Camaro Z28 had world-class handling that could go toe-to-toe with the best exotic cars of Europe at the time, including the Porsche 928. Both the Z28 and 928 obtained a fantastic .81 G on Car and Driver's skid pad handling test back in 1982. The 1982 928 had a base price of around $40,000, which was 4 times the base price of the 1982 Z28, which was around $9,700. It should be noted that the previously mentioned Car and Driver June 1983 test of a 1983 Z28 showcased the Z28's fantastic handling with a phenomenal for its day .83 G on its skid pad test. The Z28 had near-perfect steering and great braking, especially when equipped with the optional 4-wheel disc brakes. Essentially, the Z28 was a 2+2 performance car with light, nimble European-type handling. For performance Camaro fans, it had been a long wait for the newly designed 1982 to 1984 Camaro Z28, but the long wait was well worth it. The slick exterior styling with 4 attractive square headlamps, a genuine fastback roofline with a rear opening glass hatchback, and an ultra-modern interior with easy-to-read instrumentation were all new features that made the 1982 to 1984 Z28 a must-have car for many buyers. Its exterior styling was perfect, with just the right amount of spoilers. The 1982 to 1984 Camaro Z28 may have been the beginning of the long third-generation Camaro production run, and was not the fastest Z28 Chevrolet ever produced. But don't be fooled by the critics, because this Z28 had the perfect balance of handling, braking, steering, and acceleration, making it one very fun car to drive. This is why the Z28 won Motor Trend's Car of the Year award for 1982. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Please subscribe, since your support is the reason this channel is a success. And please make sure to click on the bell icon so that you never miss a new video release.